you're gonna read a book. And then we're gonna talk about it. Have you ever read a book and you wanna go and look to see if anybody else has the same thoughts about it? Well, baby, you're in luck, cause we're gonna heat it up if nobody else is gonna talk about it. So go get that book. Hurry up! We're gonna talk about it. You know, baby, we're gonna talk about it.
Good night, everyone. Welcome to the stream. This is Book Club. And tonight we're going to talk about Elric of Melniboné.
Wait, what?
This was all a ruse to get the Prophet of the Dragon to finally come on my channel and talk about Elric, which we've been planning for like a year.
This guy.
I forgot
Just kidding.
about it. What is
Just
Elric
kidding.
about again? I
No,
forgot.
we're talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl,
The best book ever.
which we're all pretty new fans of, right?
Yeah.
Alex started reading a couple months ago. When did you first start? Can't hear you.
I think his mic blew up. There it is.
Well, we're joined by Prophet of the Dragon. If you're not already on his channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And I've been streaming with him every Tuesday, talking about the Wind and Truth, Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive weekly chapters released every week. We're joined by Al Dan, one of the White Cloaks from way down under in New Zealand. I said
Australia.
that on purpose. I said that on
You
purpose.
said it like you. What is this bloke? This bloke up here.
This guy.
And then we're joined by Alex, whose sound stopped working during the video. So
It was the countdown.
just exit out and come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, you're there.
We can hear you now.
It's like I'm hearing. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm getting the YouTube sound and the stream sound at the same time. So.
Yeah,
I've done
that'll
that,
happen
don't
to
worry.
you.
I've done
That'll
that.
happen to you.
I've done that.
Well, thanks for joining us on this after hours, last minute, late night. I finished reading the book this morning at 5 a.m. Book club
like
live
that.
stream.
It's like that, isn't it, Tex?
Well,
Well,
we got to get this out of the way because you got to get to book 2, right? I mean,
I was halfway through the book because I started construction on my kitchen Saturday. Well, I started demolition, and then Tuesday night we finished talking about Wind and Truth after 3 hours of arguing. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go edit. And I was like, I need to cool down first. Started listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl and didn't get any work done.
didn't stop, did you? It never stopped.
That's like me. I chuck it on and try and do work, and it doesn't. I end up just sitting back here grabbing a beer, and no work's getting done.
Are we gonna talk spoilers? Eventually, yeah. I mean, we'll start off just talking general impressions of the series and book 1. But yeah, we're gonna get into spoilers. I will also say,
book 1.
even if someone told me everything that happened in this book,
Wouldn't matter.
It would not affect my enjoyment at all.
No. Especially the audio
you don't
book.
read this book for the plot.
No.
It's really weird. But it is super enjoyable.
I mean,
and
I don't know that I agree with that completely. Maybe
he's not into the later books.
Yeah, the later books, the plot is
excellent
pretty
as well.
freaking crazy good. So,
Dude.
but I do reaffirm. I don't I've found stuff out just because I've looked up a character. It's like, oh crap, it doesn't matter because
it doesn't. Yeah,
it just doesn't matter, especially because the audiobook reading is just so phenomenal.
It's next level. It's a whole new level of audiobook, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different stratosphere.
It's genuinely to the point where if I was talking to somebody and trying to describe it, I wouldn't even describe it as an audiobook. I would describe it as a radio play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like it is like that.
Yeah, it's very good. We're definitely going to talk spoilers. We'll give you a good a segue before we go full spoilers. I just assume that also if you're considering reading this book, it is not family friendly
Nah,
at all.
pity.
There's no sex, or they talk about sex, but it's not explicit like that in any way. But there's
gonorrhea comes up later, so
yeah,
let's
okay, but
say that,
yeah,
so-
I'm just saying
double
there's
gonorrhea. double gonorrhea. So
there's lots of entendre, okay, but it's nothing graphic, okay, and there's lots of language and lots of cartoonishly over exaggerated graphic violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you like talking cats, you're in the money.
It achieves its goal of reading like a video game, man. To be honest,
Oh, yeah.
That's why it comes out. So you expect the same as if you're, I don't know, if you're okay with your kids playing Call of Duty, then you're okay with them reading this book. I would suggest.
Yeah.
Fair. I think that's fair.
On that note, it is technically a lit RPG or a literary RPG, even though it's completely lampooning the entire genre.
It feels
Yeah,
like a
totally.
fantasy book
It's
to me,
it is
man. I mean,
absolutely making fun of lit RPGs,
yeah,
but
well,
it also is one.
So
Not
here's the thing. I've talked to Alex a few times, and you guys will be able to once you get in. I won't spoil anything, but I'm at this place where we're in the dungeon. I'm done with book 6, right? I listened to all of them in under a month. That's how good this shit is. Like literally just steamrolled them, right? And I'm at this point where I don't know if we're actually going to. I keep saying, are we going to stay in a dungeon crawl, or is it going to become an epic fantasy space sci-fi drama because of all the stuff going on outside in space?
Just from what I've read in this book, I assume the series is going to branch out into space and not
Well, it
just be a
already
dungeon
sort of
crawl.
has, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it's I don't know. It's definitely fantasy, sci-fi. It's a little bit of everything.
Well,
I think.
literary RPGs are fantasy. It's a subgenre of fantasy.
Is that okay?
Of sci-fi fantasy. It basically just means that the book acknowledges that it has a leveling system.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
That's like
Yeah.
the basic explanation.
Okay.
It's
I
not
never
sure
looked at
about
what a
using-
lit RPG was, so
So
It kind
like
of was like, did you guys ever read when you were like kids? Did you ever read the Choose Your Own Adventure books where you had the pen and
Yeah.
you had to like fill
Oh,
out
yeah.
the shit? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So it sort of feels like the next iteration of that on a way grander scale. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it.
It-
I couldn't
it-
love it more.
it is a current trend, especially with self-published stuff. Though, like I know, like the I Fight Monsters is a pretty popular lit RPG series. I'm reading the Sufficiently Advanced Magic or Arcane Ascension, I guess is what the series is called.
okay.
That's technically a lit RPG as well. It just means like it is a fantasy story, but it also acknowledges that there is a leveling up system, and a good portion of the book is about that leveling. So it's a book that feels like a video game.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Whatever time-
yeah. Definitely.
That's what the genre is.
Yeah.
And this is technically one of those, but it's also making fun of that whole genre.
Yes,
It's not
and
really
it's
in a-
one of those things that when I heard the phrase lit RPG and it was explained to me, my first thought was, "Oh my god, that's the most cringe thing I've ever heard."
Yes.
In my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is not that. Like my wife, who is a certified hater
super snob.
of
Super snob.
everything, has reached the point where, like, I'm now.
She doesn't
getting-
even like House of the Dragon.
right.
Cheers, Lady B.
Yeah, cheers, Lady B. I'm getting like, so, I know you're working, but can we put on Dungeon Crawler Carl now? Hey, I'm in a meeting, like.
What up, mate?
But it does that to you. Like you just like it doesn't. It starts and it doesn't stop for the whole book, and then you're done, and you're like, what the hell do I do now? Like it's like it's over.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
Salty, we're glad you kept reading. So, don't turn it off. It's like Terry Pratchett had a baby with Douglas Adams. Yeah, and he kind of sure, and played way too many video games, right?
So Salty says he's got the best full cast voice. So Salty, it's
It's one guy.
person, bro.
It's one guy.
It's literally
Yeah.
one dude, mate.
It's literally
It does.
one guy.
It does sound like it's a full cast. It's not. It's one guy.
It's one
He's
guy,
that good.
and later in books he has some guest speakers that do like one character.
Mhm.
Like the guy
Yeah,
that does a voice and
The critical drinker comes on and voices a guy.
book
Yeah.
3. Yep. But the rest, it's all him, which is crazy. It's nuts.
hard.
It's one of the wildest things in the world watching the video recording of his or the audio recording of his scene.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't it?
It's this
I'll
like
watch that.
kind of greasy looking Mongolian guy. And when he turns on the Princess Donut voice, you're just like, what a
How's that? I know. You're like, how's that happening? That is literally, that defies all the laws of everything in the universe that I know of.
So,
Crazy.
Prophet, you
Cartier's worse too, man. The Cartier one, when he puts that on.
They're all you got caught all of them. It's crazy. I
couldn't believe
don't know
it.
how he does it. Yeah, all of them.
Salty.
Every character
All of
salty. I couldn't believe it either.
there's currently 6 books. They just announced the 7th book released digitally next month. The audiobook's going to be a little bit longer.
February, yeah.
But Steve, you read all 6 in a month.
Yeah, literally, maybe shorter.
And
Yeah.
Alex, you started reading a couple of months ago, right? It's pretty recent.
Yep, I also knocked it out in, I'll say a month, but it may very well have been 2 weeks. Like I,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I had some long
I-
nights.
It was
all
one
I
of those
all I know
things
is like
What is that?
a couple weeks ago, like like about a month ago, Alex in the chat was just like, "Hey, I'm reading these books. They're kind of embarrassing. Like I don't know if they're good, but I really really like them. You guys should give them a shot." And then the next week, you're like, "If you guys don't start reading this series, I'm going to kill all of you."
Well, for me,
That was literally that like a week apart. It was like, I'm kind of interested in these books. You guys should give them a shot. Like, you guys got to do it because I have to talk about it, or I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Well, so Alex was, with that stuff, right? And then my brother out of nowhere is like, "Hey, you should really check out this Dungeon Crawler Carl stuff. I'm on book 5 and it's really good." I'm like, "All right." My brother got me into the fantasy. It's like, I got Alex now. I got my brother. All right, I'm gonna go. And then as soon as I think I did book 1 in a day. I'm pretty sure it was a day, just because it happened to be a work.
I did it in 2 sessions. Yeah,
and then it just happened to land good for me because I have 12-hour work shifts. So if I'm involved in stuff, I can just listen. So like each book, like the first 3 books, if the speed I listened to them at Audible, it was like 9 to 10 hours. So I literally in a 12-hour shift was able to listen to a whole book. So I think probably same as Alex, maybe 2 weeks I was done. I think a month is probably being generous. Book 5 and 6 took a little longer, but those ones are a little bit longer as well. So
yeah, they start off pretty short. It's like 12 hours is the first one, I think.
Yeah, 9 hours at 1.4.
And then by book 6, I think it's like 18, or does it ever hit over 20? I don't think so.
I don't
I don't
know.
think it ever goes over 20 now.
So they're fairly short books. Aldan, you're about halfway through, right? You haven't finished.
I'm on book 4.
Yeah,
So
book 4. Okay.
I've just hit the dude. Something just super interesting just happened, by the way.
Glurp, glurp.
Carl made a decision.
Glurp.
He made a
So
decision.
since I guess we'll just every time I finish a book, we'll do one of these.
Oh, I know what decision. Did it have to do with the ring?
Since everyone else
No.
is in.
Oh, damn. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Go
Since
ahead.
everyone else is ahead of me, we'll just do one of these every time I finish a book, and it might be one a week. So
It's
Dude,
yeah.
it might be when or what is today?
it might be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, look, I am going to be doing a lot of construction. I'm remodeling my kitchen, which is why I've done less processed videos on my channel. But I've live streamed 5 days in a row now.
But it's wild how this series just takes it. Like literally took
Takes
over
over
my
the
brain. It really
Yeah.
did. Like I know that sounds corny, but it really just did. It was just like I got in the car, turned on Carl. My kids know half the book, even though like they shouldn't, because my brother has a young daughter, so he's and I ended up passing my brother because he can't listen to it in the car, right?
Right,
I was
right.
I don't care. My kids hear me say shit. They whatever.
Oh yeah. No, I don't have a work commute anymore. That was automatically like 2 hours of reading I could do each day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's once you start, like, I'm glad you didn't give up on the first chapter. I could get why you might want to, Salty, but
Yeah, but
I'm
once
telling you,
gets
it just goes like I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like you're just holding on because like every chapter something is happening.
It's very whimsical. It's very funny. It's very fast paced. It's really fun. Like it's clever. The writing is really clever.
Actually really good. I think the writing's good.
There's good plotting, and even within, I'm just going through a dungeon that aliens created.
Well, the premise itself is like very interesting. That just like
Yeah.
What is the premise for?
Well, yeah. So if you want to avoid all spoilers, leave. But the premise literally is just Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Essentially, aliens show up and destroy the Earth and set up a big dungeon and say, okay, anyone who's left has to go in the dungeon, and we've taken over your planet because you failed to file some tax form, and we own your planet now, and most people died when we did this instantaneous terraforming thing to create this giant dungeon, and if you're left, there are no more resources on the surface of the Earth, so you can choose to stay out there, but you'll probably die. Your other choice is to enter the dungeon, and you're going to be part of a TV show as a race to get to the bottom of the dungeon.
An intergalactic reality TV show.
It's great. Watched by trillions and trillions of aliens.
Yeah. Well, they've gone into numbers now. I don't even know the numbers. Like.
Oh yeah. No. At the end of book 1, he has 1 trillion followers.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So how cool.
Yeah, he said like 6 trillion and shit. Sorry, go ahead.
McCowan, to answer your question in the chat.
Yes.
You will be missing out if you do the ebook instead of the audiobook.
And the audiobook is the preferred way to experience this book.
And here's a big warning, real quick. If you start between Towers of Midnight and Memory of Light, you will finish all 6 before you go to Memory of Light. I have no doubt. I have no doubt that it's like what your short break will be finishing the whole series, and then like, okay, I can get back to Memory of Light.
Yeah, and he's right. You're better off reading a Dresden book in between, mate. These take over your life. Like this ruins every other book that you want to read.
They legitimately do. I read them all, and then I started, showing them to my wife, and then I traveled out here for work for 2 or 3 days, and I'm sitting here to myself like, I could start over on book 1 right now. Like she doesn't have to know. Like
I did that when I ran out of Audible credits. I went and like downloaded the narrator's his app, the sound booth thing, right? And I started listening to the full the performance of the book.
Oh yeah, there's two versions of the audiobook. We should address that. The what's his name? It's not Matt Dinniman is the author. What's his name?
Jeff Hayes.
Jeff Hayes?
Hayes.
Jeff Hayes does the audiobook. He does the official audiobook, and then on his website, which you can find if you just look up Jeff Hayes, he has is the entirety of book 1 free?
No, it's like there's
the first couple chapters are.
The first, it's like 8 scenes, so I'm not sure. I've only listened to like 2 of the scenes so far. I'm not actually sure.
He has an extended version of the book where he's turned it into a radio drama.
It's amazing.
It's acted out. There's sound effects, and he adds a couple like scenes. I only listened to the first 10 minutes of it, but within the first 10 minutes he's probably doubled the content of the book. Just acting stuff out and taking time, to talk between characters.
And it's not annoying. Like if I've listened to some of the full production performances of some of the Stormlight, some of Brandon's
White Sand one.
Yeah, I did Warbreaker and White Sand. Yep. Yeah.
Warbreaker was pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I like it. Don't get me wrong, but this is totally next. It's another thing completely.
There's some of that even in the Audible one. You get some little, you could hear people talking in the background and some of that stuff going on in some of the later audiobooks. But not like that. I didn't know that existed.
There's more of that.
With Alpha Carl and the
Alpha Carl.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What?
Alpha Carl and Lazarus and Bang Bang. All right, you're in for it.
Yes. there's a great scene and some great audio acting that just absolutely sent to me, and it's all extra stuff, but it's so fucking funny.
So good,
dude. The exits, you know, the whatever the bits at the end of the book that
yeah.
they're unbelievable. And like I was listening to Jeff like talk about this on an interview with some chick, and he was like, "Yeah, we did the first one, and then we thought, well, this might be really cool to keep doing." And so he talked to Matt about doing it. So Matt started to write the end bits for him or whatever. And then Matt started throwing in all this shit to take the piss out of him and troll him and stuff in there. So that's why it's just amazing. It's so good. It's
the end note, the afterword, that's probably the word.
Yeah,
right?
the afterword. Yeah.
The afterword is an achievement, because during the whole book, you know, he's unlocking achievements in this live video game he's playing in. So the afterword is, congratulations, you've finished a Dungeon Crawler Carl book. Yeah, I don't know why, but
new achievement. You read a book.
The voice acting is phenomenal. It's the preferred way to read. I'm sure reading the ebook or physical book is also enjoyable, but
well, I'm sort of torn because I didn't realize the physical book is coming out November, like mid-November, and then the audio is not till February. I'm like, oh, it's like, am I actually going to have to read a book? I haven't actually read a book in a while.
Yeah,
this might be it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's so good. That's great. I'd love to hear that.
The cover for book 7 looks incredible.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's the next? That didn't just come out. So it's just the one you're talking about that comes out.
It comes out in November. Book 7.
If you're on his page, well, that's also too. It's very unique. His Patreon. The whole book is on his Patreon right now. Yeah, which is sort of crazy too. Like
book 7.
Yeah, he releases them chapter by chapter on his Patreon. There's a Patreon reward. He writes it, he posts them, and they, so it's crazy.
He lets people help him with themes for dungeon, for levels and shit as well, like on his Patreon. So like,
hey, give me an idea for a trap for Carl to go through. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You guys were talking about the author's writing style, and I was ignoring you because I was still reading the book. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that he's not an outliner; he's a gardener. And you said he frequently throws away chapters that if he doesn't like them after he reads them. Where are you finding this information? Because now I want to learn more about the author.
There's this chick called Maud Garrett who has done a couple of interviews with him. Then you can watch them, and that explains all of it.
The one I saw, it was on a panel, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There were 4 authors and him, and one of the questions was, can you describe your writing process? And the 3 people that go before him talk about the importance of outlining and how you need to have a plan, you need to go where you're going. And then he says, I just write a chapter and then I read it, and if I like it, I keep it, and if I don't, I throw it away. The looks of horror,
dude. Why can I just picture scenes from the book? Like that's exactly like he's just implanting that into his book too, because there are interviews in the book. Like they pull him out to do galactic interviews, so he's literally
it's like the game is kind of set up like Hunger Games, where you've got to get patrons and followers to send you gifts and stuff. Awesome. And they're frequently pulled out, teleported out of the rough to appear on talk shows. Yeah, it's very entertaining.
He just got pulled out in the book. I mean, man, I won't spoil anything, but they just got pulled out into a talk show, and
oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
I know the event you're describing.
I know the event now.
Yeah.
I got
you.
Yeah.
we could. I spent 25 minutes. We could probably spoil all of book 1 now. So if you want to go in completely blind, honestly, it won't make a difference. You'll still love the book if you watch our entire discussion on it. Because I had a couple. These guys won't shut up about the book. They keep talking about it in our group chat.
Okay?
I've had lots of things spoiled for me, and it's still just hilarious.
Clear.
You can't really spoil it. There's not really like cliffhangers, so to speak, right? It's just more like how events transpire that you it wouldn't matter if you knew how it was, and once you listen to it, it's like completely. It doesn't matter if you know how it goes. Like it fills it out. It's crazy.
There's one thing that I fucking love about this series, and it's especially true as you get sort of into the later books. He manages to establish a tone and convey his character's feelings in a paragraph.
Oh yeah.
Spending chapters.
Yeah.
Like for how ridiculous and silly this book is, it's also incredibly heartfelt. Like there are moments in book one where I'm like, that is depressing. That's horrible.
So I think it was my brother. I might have talked to Alex about it too. I've cried. I have cried because of this book at points. It's just like it's like wow, like not like teared up, like emotional, like holy shit, like this is supposed to be a funny ha book, and I'm sitting here like fucking worried about the cat, like is like
oh no, like who fucking I don't even like cats.
It's like why? It's like how are you put and then so that and then like the way he makes you care about all the characters.
Oh yeah,
like you have the like especially later you haven't met a lot of the characters that like you know you have the old folks that you end up actually caring about what happens to them.
You care about the goblins on page 2,
right? Yeah, but like there's this whole cast of side characters that are just like
wait, before you get it, the first like big achievement he gets is murdering a room full of goblin babies.
Yep.
And he's like, and he feels terrible about it, and it makes you feel bad for reading it. It's awful.
That has to come back and bite him in the ass later, right? Like that has to come back and bite him in the ass.
that moment though, they open the door and Donut says, "Yeah, throw it in." Was it? Did you see the boss? Yeah, and a whole bunch of babies. What? Yeah, the room was full of babies.
And she's like, "Oh, whatever." She doesn't even recognize that that's a
we should probably explain that, right?
Yeah.
Carl has his ex-girlfriend's cat with him, which
he's the worst person in the world, by the way.
When he enters the dungeon and she gets a magical power-up that increases her intelligence score by like 30 points, and so she can talk now.
She gets a whole slew of bonuses because she was the first cat in the dungeon.
She was the first pet to enter the dungeon, so she gets a massive power up.
She gets a massive power up, gains sentience, and is just
like 4 chapters in. She's more powerful than Carl, and she becomes she renames the group.
She's more powerful than Carl.
What's that?
I said 6 books in. She's more powerful than Carl.
Yeah, I'm just
it's
very funny.
Pretty fucking
That depends on your definition of more powerful, right? Like
I don't know. Carl's pretty badass right now.
No, Carl, Carl is great. I'm just saying it's a really funny dynamic because a couple chapters in, Carl is being led around the dungeon by a spoiled show cat.
And she's perfect. It's like every cat you've ever met in your life. If you could imagine that they talked, she's like exactly what you would imagine they'd fucking be like. It's amazing.
Yeah. And how ridiculous that is. He even made it like intriguing when he gets mad at her, saying, "No, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to do what you say." And then she apologizes. She says, "Look, sorry. Like I've just gone through something crazy. I've lived as a cat my whole life, and then in a split second, I gained the intelligence of a super being, right?" And then she says, "And I know, and now I can look back at my entire life as a cat." And know what that experience was, and I also know that I can talk now, and like, and like she's like having this existential crisis. She's like, I need to process all these new feelings of intelligence, but I also know that I like cuddling on your lap. Yeah. Like,
well, I love how
it's really cool.
She refuses to not talk in all caps.
Yes.
The chat is one of the best. It's so stupid, but it's just
the best.
You just laugh every time because she just does it to everybody. It's like, I know I'm talking about shut up. It's like, okay.
So funny. I had it on in the car right when Chelsea got in the car with my daughter the other day or whatever. And I've been telling her about this book. I'm like, there's this cat in this book that you would fucking love, that you would just piss yourself laughing at, right? And I've got it in the car, and I pick her up from saxophone practice sword. And like, all of a sudden, Donut just starts yelling in the background. I'm like, she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "That's the cat talking in all caps on the text message." She's like,
You got it.
like,
You had to have been there. It's an inside joke.
Oh, gosh.
No, yeah, her full name is Princess Donut von Lipwig or something like that.
What's the actual
Chunk,
Queen Anne Chonk? Yeah,
World Grand Champion, Princess Donut, Queen Anne Chunk. It's incredible.
and because she has the highest intelligence, she becomes the party leader and renames Carl to like manservant or whatever. Carl the manservant.
Well, it's her charisma. Her charisma is like
it's like
she's
50,
through the
it starts
roof.
at 56 or some shit.
It's great.
And every time she recalls something from their normal life is just the funniest fucking thing in the world. Because she calls Carl out on all of his, like, you were watching, lesbian videos.
And she just says it so matter-of-factly. Oh, yeah. It's like...
Yeah, poor Carl didn't realize, like, the cat was going to gain sentience.
But so also there's some interesting times when she starts sprouting off about some of this shit, and Carl, like, this is later, so I won't say exactly what, but I'm sure I don't know if Aldana and Alex probably know what I'm talking about, but she's just yapping about things she saw, and she brings up like, Facebook, and she saw something on Facebook, and Carl's like, what? Wait, what? Yeah, back that shit up. Like, what?
Truck up.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, actually, that just happened. This book was the whole. It's just like this whole thing that she doesn't realize what she's. So it shows that she is smart. She's very smart, but she still doesn't realize some of the old life stuff that she's witnessed, and she's just like doesn't really know what she's.
She's watched all of Gossip Girl like 100 times with her previous owner.
Is that in book one?
That's in book one, yeah.
Oh man.
In book one, she also accidentally informs Carl that his ex-girlfriend was cheating on him with 2 other people.
That's just so funny. Like Alex said, that's fucking hilarious.
He's like, wait, what? What was Beatrice doing while I was gone?
Oh, Beatrice, the worst human on the planet.
It's amazing how well balanced the book is. It's hilarious and also super heartfelt. Like you were mentioning one of the interviews, but in book one, he comes across the 2 crawlers who just attack other people instead of the mobs. Maggie Mai and Maggie Q and Maggie Mai. No. The one they killed was something Q. It's Maggie something. Maggie Mai and Frank. And then they're pulled onto a talk show, and they have to confront each other. Cause, like, he tried to kill them. I don't know. They tried to kill Carl, and then he ran away and left a booby trap for them. And then he's pulled onto a talk show, and he starts talking smack. They bring him together, like, "Hey, this is the guy that tried to kill you. What do you have to say?" Like, "Oh, I hope you found that booby trap, and I hope you rot in hell." And then it shows the flashback that they had a daughter the whole time, and she's the one that opened up the booby trap.
Well, and that's also not the end of that either. There's even more to that story. Like book 4. Yeah, book 4 even expands more on that, and it also gives you a good idea, like, of the corporation that's putting on the crawl is heavily editing shit, so you're not getting the full picture of what's actually happening in the dungeon. It gives you a good picture of that.
I figured there was more to the story because after the daughter is wounded by Carl's booby trap, the mother strangles her to death.
Yep.
And he's like, "Why would you do that? She could have healed." And she's like, "Oh, you don't know anything." There's obviously more to that story, but like it just goes to that point where you have this ridiculously silly, over the top fight scenes and a sentient cat, and then moments like that where it's like incredibly depressing, heartfelt, and
Emotional.
it's
Yeah.
very it's very touching.
Pulls on your heartstrings, big. Well, it just expands from there. It really
And
does.
every time,
There's so
and
many of those moments.
I'm
So
sure
many.
it slows down in later books, but it's
No.
in book.
No.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm about to bring up probably slows down in other books, but in this one particularly, you start off with a couple billion or million people, dungeon crawlers, and by the end of this book, we're down to under 1 million. And every time he looks up at the count, you're like a million people have been killed off screen. Obviously, that has to slow down. But
I guess it does.
But like, it takes
Sort of,
time for him to just lament about the situation and be like, "Man, this is another million people just died in a heartbeat." You know?
It gets to the point where he starts ignoring the tote because it's just too hard. Because they like the percentage on each level is probably about the same of what they lose.
Percentage wise, I'm just about the sheer numbers. We're gonna obviously the first floor you're gonna lose a whole bunch of people, and then slower as you go on.
So when the book goes from great to masterpiece, is when a shift happens, and it's very much I don't want to spoil it, but it's very much I'm not, yes, I'm trapped in here with you guys, but you're also trapped in here with me.
Yes.
He keeps all of book one. He keeps repeating, "You will not break me." You
yes. Know. Oh God! Every fucking time he says that, it's like, fuck yes.
And you talked about the interview in book 4. Have you gotten to the "You will not break me" screed at the end of that one?
No, I just finished. I just literally just got out of the car before when I went and got some beers, and I just finished.
Do we get more? So the game show in book 1 with the pig guy, I can't remember his name, where they introduce him to where they have him introduced to Frank. Is that where the gloop gloop comes from?
Glurp.
Glurp. Please tell me we get more of him.
Sort of.
It kind of implied that like his show went bankrupt after Carl went on.
Let's put it this way: him and his whole empire become a big joke.
Okay, I just loved it, and I want to see him get killed. So,
I'll tell you what,
it's better than that.
Just on the "You will not break me" thing. The end of book 5, before he leaves, he has a monologue. It's just like
At the end of each book, I think starting at the end of book 3, he starts cutting fucking wrestling promos right before he goes down the stairs.
It's pretty great.
But the book, you got to say, the book 5 one is just like peak. You're like, let's get in there. Let's go. All right.
I'm ready to run through a wall every time he starts saying the "You will not break me," and then every book he adds on to it. It's one more line in his little screed.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's his internal creed.
Yeah.
So
good.
For the premise of the rest of the series, there are 18 levels, right?
Yes.
18
and they're all groups of 3.
And no one's got past
levels. Nobody's ever got.
No one's ever gotten
12.
past 12.
Is it 12? I think it's
13. I thought it was 12 or 13, but
one person got to 13 but didn't pass.
They said one person got to 13 and died 1 minute in.
Where did Mordecai get to? I thought
Mordecai got to 12. The astral.
That's a spoiler for me. I didn't know Mordecai got all the way to 12.
Right. So he in his crawl he got to 12. It's the ascendancy, the god ascendancy floor where the like rich people are controlling gods.
Yep. You get more of Mordecai's backstory in
it's Mordecai is such a tragic fuck, man. Oh my god!
I thought he implied he only made it down a couple levels, but
Mordecai it's great. Character. Mordecai, each level he gets fucked over.
He's my favorite character. I love him so much. When he fucking lost, hang on, I won't spoil nothing, but like
I immediately knew I was gonna love Mordecai from his introduction.
He's so good.
Book 3. Oh, it's a book 3. I'm not even sure if it's book 3 or book 4. Anyway, when Mordecai,
he's the teddy bear.
Book 3 is when things really actually change big time for Mordecai.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, it is
It's
book 3.
it's really interesting. You can track Mordecai's character development. Because in book 1, he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I just gotta,
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
hate
sort
this.
out my time. I gotta get through this." Then in book 4, he kind of becomes invested. In book 5, he's really trying to give them good advice, and he really disagrees with what Carl is doing. Because in Mordecai's opinion, everybody should be, keep your head down and just try and slide through to the next floor over and over and over again until you can cut your deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
reckon that starts earlier than that too, man. Like he's doing that by book 3. I reckon he's starting to really help.
yeah, and then by book 6, he's almost
At first, it's just like fuck
fate.
this shit.
Unfortunately, I'm tethered to a duo of whack jobs.
With these fucking idiots, I'm just gonna get smashed.
Well, it's 2 that he turns into the
Succubus.
the succubus. Yeah. Sorry.
Really fun. Any specific plot points from book 1 we want to talk about?
I have to. I don't want to screw up and spoil something because
It's
I was just going to follow your lead. But
okay, no, we got to talk about the first boss that they fight. Really, okay, if you're considering reading the whole series, read up to the first boss, and if you're not sold, I don't know what could sell you, but the first boss he encounters is the juicer.
Fucking boss.
and it's just a guy on roid rage, and the voice for this I was laughing so hard, and every time the juicer speaks, he goes, "Bro, why'd you do that, bro? I'm gonna kill you!" And
come on, bro. What's going on, bro?
I was like, I can't believe that this is the first boss. I don't know how this is going to be topped, and he gets topped.
Every time.
He gets topped by the crack Karen.
The crack Karen, yeah.
A Karen that's a kraken and selling MLMs to people. Or moonshine MLM. It's hilarious.
I think the juicer was a better boss than Crack Karen, actually.
Yeah, but the crack Karen's a better pun.
Well, my favorite.
Yeah, true.
So you got the juice, and then he You talked about blowing up the orcs and all that, and then I love how he just figured out that his inventory can carry everything.
Yeah, he's immediately exploiting the game. He's picking up tables and doors and putting everything in his inventory.
Well, exactly.
But that's what everyone who's ever played a video game, that's what we do. We pick up, and by the end of the game, we're like, I don't even know what any of this stuff does, but I have it.
Yeah. Well, he's in it gets to the point where people fucking Carl's known for just looting everything, right? I mean, they have stuff bolted down in the fucking interview trailers because he tries to loot it, and sometimes he's actually successful. He ends up leaving with tables and chairs from the interview trailers.
Yeah. It's always his first
I
thought.
just have this picture of him picking up a big ass desk.
It's always his first thought too, right? Like every single time he gets in a fight or anything, whatever. What can I steal? Like this person's dead. Okay, I'm gonna loot him. I'm gonna check on.
Yeah,
the most important
easier
thing
to
is
sort through it if I put it in my inventory. Fuck it. And it just puts piles of shit in his inventory. It's just
it's got all kinds of shit in there at this point, mate.
I think my favorite inventory thing happens, and I think it's the Tangle is 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite inventory moments after the big train event, the Tangle. So you have to come back to me on that one. But
all right,
but yeah, the bosses just ramp up, and it's like you think right. I'm at the end of 6. You're like, how the bosses get any more difficult? Like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this one ends. This book ends with a boss it's not even a boss. It's an enemy that's literally impossible to beat, because it's a rage monster that's a punishment for because people kept
John.
pooping and crawlers kept pooping and peeing in the on camera, and they said, "Look, stop doing this. We have bathrooms on every floor because we don't want to see you poop and pee. It doesn't play for camera, and people don't like it." And so they started penalizing people who poop and pee in the dungeon. And they said, "Okay," and people kept doing it. And so they said, "Now anyone who poops and pees, it's going to spawn a rage monster that's impossible to kill and will wipe out your entire team. You'll get a TKO." And of course, Carl is escorting a group of people from an old folks' home through the dungeon because he's so sweethearted. The moment where he's talking to Princess Donut, and he goes, it would be a lot easier if we just left this group behind and didn't try to help them. And she goes, "Yeah, but you already know what you're gonna do." And I was like, "Oh, it was so good." It was a good moment for both of them.
It's amazing how much Donut actually knows. It just shows you how much they've actually been together. Donut knows Carl very, 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 very well.
But it was also
it
was also a good character moment for Donut too. It was a good character moment for Carl, saying like, he's not the kind of person that's willing to just stop caring about people and stop trying to help them. And it was also kind of her saying, I agree, but I don't want to be the one to say it, so I'm going to put it on you. Like, oh, you're not the kind of person that would ever leave those people helpless.
There's ever been like a ride or die combo, it's them. Like,
yeah,
it lasts the whole book series.
It also, right. So, the point of that is they're escorting a bunch of dementia patients through the dungeon who happen to be unfortunate enough to not die right off the bat, and some guy pees on whips out his junk.
Jack pees on the wall, right?
Jack pees on the wall
yeah.
and spawns a rage demon, and that's basically the finale of this book. Is they have to figure out how to deal with this thing that's designed to just wipe your entire party.
Well, just to give you an idea, the power
Rage elemental
that's going on too is
rage elemental. You're right.
I think they said those rage elementals are normal mobs on floor 12.
Imagine, so they've got like thousands of those fuckers on floor 12, right?
Yeah,
cool.
Something like that. Yeah, that's what they said. So, but
and he deals with it. He deals with it in a really fun way that I wasn't expecting. Carl is such a refreshing main character.
He's very creative in how he takes care of these guys.
It's so refreshing to see like a strong male character who's intelligent and wise and also physically strong and can be emotional. Like you don't need to cuck your main characters because we want them to show emotion.
Like my hero, man.
Like he is strong and he shows emotion. Like it's not. It's so refreshing having a character like this after all of the bull crap that we've been subject to for the last 5 years.
Yep.
And he talks like Alex.
Does he talk like me, or have I started talking like him?
He can't
you've always Alex. You've always been this way.
Okay.
As long as I've known you, I don't know.
It's so good. And part of it is the narrator as well, because he like says, he sort of like has inflections like you do sometimes, man, when you say shit, which is like so funny.
I just remember the first time I had Alex on my Best Gen show, I said, look, the goal of the show is I want to create like a family-friendly show where we just talk about nerd stuff. So try not to swear, but like I'm not gonna get mad if you do. And I think there were like 80 F-bombs that show. Like,
that was the one where I did the infamous F. Oh no, you're not supposed to say that. Shit.
Oh man, oh crap! I didn't mean to swear.
But
no, it's okay. This book is not family friendly. I'm not policing you guys tonight. So,
but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Depends how you define swear words.
Cover their ears for the bad parts. Like,
right.
Carl's great. Carl is awesome. Like he awesome. The character, like the book is great. Carl as a character is just like, I don't know how he does it. You're immediately on board with Carl.
Oh, immediately.
It's a masterpiece.
He runs out into a blizzard in his underwear because he's more concerned about the cat than he is about getting frostburn.
Yeah.
You know?
And don't forget anybody that his battle garb in the dungeon is his leather jacket, his heart boxers, and does he have his knee pads yet? I don't think
He gets his knee pads in book one.
knee
Yeah,
pads.
he gets everything. See, looking at all the pictures of all the books, he's basically got his full setup in book one. He's got his gauntlet. He's got knee pads.
So he gets a huge item in book 5.
Yeah.
I think it is. He
I'm
gets
saying the majority of what
yeah.
his setup is.
He basically gets a replacement for his coat in 5. But
So he's stuck out in the snow. So how it works is the planet was in the blink of an eye, it was like terraformed, and anyone who was inside was killed immediately. And he ran outside to grab his ex-girlfriend's cat, who jumped out the window. And he's running outside in his underwear, and the buildings all collapse.
For me, I just want to say I found it very interesting. Just sort of you start discovering a lot about the dungeon along with Carl, which I actually think is an awesome. Way. Carl is learning stuff about what's going on, and you're learning along with him.
Oh, he's immediately trying to not exploit the system, but test the system.
Well, right, and
which
then as he's going,
which is what people never do in books, and it always pisses me off. You're like, look, if people are saying here's the rule set, limit test it, please. Yeah, figure out what you can do. He's awesome.
He does it all the time, and then he's just discovering this, okay, well, this is what they said, and then he's like, okay, so all the stuff they smashed into the ground is being repurposed into the places they're at. But
every time he gets a new item, he's like, okay, it says it can do this. Does that mean I can do it underwater? Does that mean I can do it upside down? Does that mean I can? Okay, now I know how this item works. Every single time, it's awesome.
Dude, Carl's brain processes, it's so good. He literally does think, he's never just thinking just on the level. He's always thinking what else. He's always got a question. He's always got something extra to bring to whatever's happening to him or around him. And it's such a weapon. It's such a weapon for him. As he goes on.
His brain works like a smart person. Like he does all of the things that I've been complaining about in TV for forever. Like hey, how come they didn't stop and ask this question? How come they? And there's not a single point in this book where I say, hey, how come they didn't? Oh no, Carl did. He immediately asked the questions.
It's not so much smart either. It's he's really switched on. I wouldn't say smart and not intelligent. It's
street smarts.
It's real, and it's proper street smarts, right? It's proper street smarts. It's cool.
Yep. Like I said, the last 3 books, it's really interesting because you're right. He's always on, and it's fascinating watching what that does to him. Mm-hmm. So that's great. I will say, reading this at the same time as we're reading Winds and Truth, for me, it's watching the You Will Not Break Me is his first ideal.
Yeah.
And he says a new ideal every book, and it's just man, this is.
Well, he just adds on to his existence. He just adds an extra layer to him.
Honestly, he's what I wish Kaladin had become instead of book 4. So
it's wild. It's wild when you get to the end of book 6 because you learn a lot, and it's just the position Carl's in to actually make a difference in the galaxy is pretty crazy. In the end of 6, it's pretty wild.
Ironically, we talk about Carl so much, but Donut's impact on the universe as a whole is
dude.
Oh yeah. The Princess Posse is real.
That's the thing. In book one, right? When she first gains her massive charisma boost, and the first thing she does is change all the shit, right? To Princess Donut's fucking shit, and Carl's like you guys said before, she just changes everything immediately. This is what's happening. Okay, everyone get on board. All right, okay. It's just perfect.
God damn it, Donut! Yeah, it's he's got a catchphrase, and it's just complaining about Donut. It's
is that book one when he gets on the first show?
First on that show, I think it is.
Yeah. He has his catchphrase.
Because he's
That's
like
such a
he's hell bent
It's
on
the
not
it's
having
the
catchphrase.
crab big
Yeah, the
boob
crab.
That
lady.
titty lady.
Well, because he's hell bent on not having a catchphrase, and she's like, "Make sure you say your catchphrase." He's like, "What the hell is my catchphrase?" And she's like, "God damn it, Donut." He's like, "God damn it, Donut."
Did you guys know that when she said that? Because I didn't. Like when she said that, I had to like think back. I was like,
No,
she
I
does-
didn't. I didn't realize it either.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what has he been saying this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just frustration is
That's
his
why it was
catchphrase.
so great because it was literally him just being frustrated with the things Donut's doing, and it's like catchphase. What the hell? What?
it's
What
the
are you talking
perfect
about?
catchphrase,
Like,
yeah.
God damn it, Donut.
It is.
I'm like, oh my god, he has said that like 8 times. That is his
Yeah.
catchphrase.
Lady B caught that immediately.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she said, "So you're gonna say your catchphrase?" She like we were in Boston. We were driving down one of these like tiny, narrow, like steep decline Boston hills, and we're listening to it. You know, I'm kind of paying attention. She just shouts, "God damn it, Donut!" As soon as they request the catchphrase, I was dying.
That's perfect.
Oh my goodness! I'm
That's
looking
so
at
perfect.
I'm looking at the wiki, and someone has mapped out their the statistics on each for each book, like where the character stats are.
Oh yeah, no, that's
yeah.
all over. You got to be careful. Yeah, you can get everything.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
What
bust.
I
Don't,
will
don't.
say is it's interesting. Like they have all of that information, but they don't have fucking basic plot summaries of each chapter.
They don't.
Yeah.
And
They don't.
You know, again, you know, as somebody who usually listens to like Wheel of Time and Stormlight on
Yeah,
on Audible, I get lazy. You know, I zone out for 4 or 5
You got it in
minutes.
summer. I will say the most impressed I've ever been with an author is Zamil Akhtar, who does Gunmetal Gods.
Yeah.
And this is a new thing he just released a couple, like 2 or 3 months ago. So I didn't have it when I was reading through the first 2 books, and between books 1 and 2, there are a couple crossover characters that are like I couldn't quite remember which one was which, and there was, because it's an indie book, there are less resources. And a couple months ago, he updated his website and did this huge thing on Twitter, and he was like, "Okay, I've included a bunch of maps and glossaries on my website," and I go to his website, and it's got these beautiful maps, and then there's a link to a character glossary, and I click it. It links to, I kid you not, it links to a public Google Sheets. It links to his personal Excel sheet, and he's listed every single character. And underneath each character, he has it segmented by spoilers for each book in different colors. It is the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. I was like, every single author on Earth needs this. It's the best and nerdiest and dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. It's like completely unprofessional in the best way possible. It's just an Excel sheet.
Who doesn't love a good Excel spreadsheet, mate?
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's my life.
I need that for this.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's been times where I've gone to look for something and I can't find it, but it's just like, okay, I'll go back. I'll just either wait. And
I'll just
it'll
read
be
the
on-
book again, I guess.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I actually thought about doing that, like start a new reread and then write a chapter summary for each chapter I get to, and just put it up there. I mean, I'm assuming I don't know how those fan wikis work, but I'm assuming you could do that.
Well,
I will say, the moment I realized this book was going to be really good is it has a good intro. The world collapses, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a dungeon crawler thing, whatever. And he gets to the first safe room by running away from the goblins on a spiked bulldozer tank.
Yeah.
He jumps into the safe room and starts talking to Mordecai for like 2 minutes, and then says, "Okay, you've told me an important aspect of the rules, and stop talking to me. I'm gonna go out and kill these goblins before they can go and bring more people back." Like I wasn't ready for that. He I thought, okay, we're gonna get some exposition now, and it starts doing a little bit of exposition. And it says, wait, I'm gonna do something smart. jumps back outside, murders a bunch of goblins, comes back in and says, "Okay, now give me the exposition, please." I was like, this book is going to be great. Like I was just not ready for a book to be, especially a book as stupid and silly as this, to be so intelligent. It was shocking to me.
It gets better.
So engaging.
It's like engaging. Look, there's things that happen that just completely you get caught off guard several times a book because you're not like you're just and all of a sudden like immediately
he's running around in a leather jacket and his
boxers.
pink heart underwear.
Yeah.
But
he's just like they're just like, hey, we should eat and fucking it's like what the fuck did that come from? It's like what happened?
So you've reached the point now where we know the AI's particular interest in Carl, right? I forget. That's book 1, right?
We know that it's like catered to each person, like the gifts and stuff. I don't think it said
know anything about
why the AI is interested in Carl specifically.
Well, but do you know he has an interest in a certain body part of Carl's? Yes.
Oh, his feet. Yeah.
Yes, his feet.
Yes. Oh yeah. You gotta pay the mommy tax or something. What is it? What's the wording?
Daddy tax.
The daddy. You gotta pay the daddy tax. Give me those digits. Like. Oh yeah, you squished 10 monsters with your bare feet. Oh, it's I'm just I am absolutely terrified that my wife will walk in and hear me listening to that part to the AI foot fetish voice. Because it comes out of nowhere, right? It randomly comes back a couple times in each book. I'm presuming the foot fetish voice keeps coming back, and I'm absolutely terrified that my wife will, without any context, walk in and hear me listening to, oh yeah, squish those monsters between your toes.
Well, was it? Which book is it where the whole dungeon just groans? It's like, and Ellie's just like, what the fuck was that?
It's funny. Every time like something happens in the dungeon that like causes the entire thing to shake, everybody knows it's Carl. Either because it's a massive explosion, or the AI is gooning to the foot fetish.
So is that just the AI playing up for what the audience wants, or is the AI action is the foot fetish?
Yes, the AI has a massive foot fetish.
Okay, like that's even more funny.
Well, here's the thing too.
That has not been revealed in book 1.
The AI is gearing his loot towards he never gets shoes.
Right. Well, yeah, that's established because it makes a good show.
Right. Well, so the moment he gets shoes, like the AI is basically like,
don't ever give him shoes and don't ever give him pants because it's funny when he gets pissed off. There's no pants. And
he ends up with special objects to make his feet like impenestrational. And
he gets a pedicure kit that buffs his feet.
He starts getting toe rings and all kinds of shit. And then oh no, I don't want to ruin that. Book 3, something interesting happens
to his feet. I can't wait to find out what happens to Carl's toes.
But it is 100% the AI has a foot fetish. That's it. It's not. Okay. It's not
playing it up for the audience.
The AI has a foot fetish.
It loves it. It loves it. It loves it.
I think the way that they've done the AI is super smart. I really like the way that it interacts.
Better too.
Until you get to the later books.
Yeah.
The AI in book 6 has genuine fucking character development.
Oh yeah.
It is fucking wild.
One of the most interesting parts is before Princess Donut got her intelligence boost and she's still just a cat. When he starts like limit testing this dungeon and he's like, okay, I keep seeing these messages and hearing this voice pop up, and then he looks down and he notices the cat kind of like, he's like, oh, the cat is receiving messages too and is probably super confused. I was like, it was just such a cool detail.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and then you find out some things about it's happening other places too, right? So you got Lucia Marr has the dogs, and then you got Pepper Tente and What's
You
her name?
had the movement, which is just a bunch of African guys with AK-47s
40 of them.
and child soldiers who entered the dungeon at the same time.
So, do they get
Straight out of the
are they
Congo.
they get wiped out by
Spoilers:
the
they
city
all but one of them die in book one. Yes,
Well, it just shows you how
they come across the
city boss, right?
city
yeah.
boss.
Yeah, so it just shows you city bosses are no fucking joke, right? They take out 40 guys with Uzis.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, it
like-
was pretty clear that group was doomed from the get go because they're running out of bullets the whole time. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you get a character that Florin's the man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Florin's the man. Yes, Florin's the man. Florin is the best. I heart Florin. I thought we were gonna lose Florin for a minute there, dude. I was scared. Oh,
Who? Florn?
you haven't met
Florin?
Florin yet. Florin is awesome. All right, that's all.
Got it.
That's all we can say about Florin. When you hear the name Florin, you're like, okay, we're getting close. You don't get it. We don't get enough Florin. I want more Florin. That's my only complaint.
Talk about heartfelt moments. The nurses of this old folks home
Imani
who,
and Yolanda.
like, someone lit a fire inside their nursing home, so they had to evacuate all the patients when the buildings collapsed, and they all entered the dungeons. And you've got like five nurses who are awesome. They're all good characters. Just trying to.
There's no bad characters in this book.
No, like
I'll
even the bad people are good characters, like Frank and what's her face?
Yeah, Maggie.
Maggie are very, very interesting.
Well,
I
I
think
think
of one
one of the best aspects I've talked to both my brother and Alex about this a little bit is the villains, quote unquote villains, don't overstay their welcome, I think is the best way to put it, right? He has confrontations and they actually get concluded and other confrontations have already started.
Well,
right?
because the real villain is the corporation, right?
Right. Well, yeah, them too. There's more than one, but you know, there were some of the relationships that have gone bad in the dungeon. They don't just keep going to have conflict. They actually they actually get resolved and tidied up, and then you can move on to the next thing. It's just not prolonged because like, oh, this is the conflict guy. We have to have him stay around. No, it's brought to a conclusion in an interesting way. Every single one of them has, whether I won't say more than that. No. But I like how it's just they're not there over what they should be. Right, it's concluded in a way that makes sense.
There are one-off characters that get introduced and then die who are very interesting too, right? Like the nurse. I guess two of the nurses die, but Yolanda, she's killed like 20 people because a bunch of her old folks got caught in some slimes, and so she put them out of their misery with her bow and arrow, and now she's suffering with the guilt of being a crawler killer. Marvelous character.
Well, that's how they wander upon him, right? Carl sees 20 skulls and he's like,
who's this lady?
We might want to fucking turn around.
but he immediately figures out also like how that's happened, right? Which is he's so good. It's a great character, man.
Oh yeah, he pieces it together immediately, especially when you got Chris. You got Chris, Imani, Yolanda, and oh god, his brother, Brandon.
Brandon, yeah.
Yolanda shooting Jack in the head too when he starts pissing on the wall.
God,
so good.
So good. She just doesn't even
she just offs him.
It's too bad. She would have been great. I wish
she was a fantastic character. No, I think it's great that she died. It made her more memorable, and I like it when a book's willing to do that, to kill characters. And from the get go, the super interesting thing is it's setting up. At floor 9, there's going to be a huge problem because of the crown that Donut's wearing. That's book 7, right? They're on floor 9. I read the synopsis. I know they're on floor 9.
Book 7 is floor 9. Yeah. Oh yeah, floor 9.
I'm excited for that. She's going to have to kill a whole bunch of people, or she can't. Only one. There can be only one. It is the Highlander of cats.
Yeah. Well, and that gets a lot more messy too, even if you could imagine that. So,
yeah,
it's a lot more messy. So
I think I I already know there's another
The
member of
crown
their
of the
party.
sepsis whore. Yes, it's
The sepsis horror.
I cannot say enough good things about some of the side characters. Like
Yeah.
they introduced Katya, and I was thinking, oh fuck.
Oh
me.
yeah.
This is where the diversity hits and the show gets shit. And I was like,
Not
no,
at all.
wow,
Yep.
Katya's also great. Like I couldn't believe it.
Katya,
Yeah, there's
Amani,
none of that.
and,
None of that
Katya,
has
Amana,
happened.
Ellie, they're all fantastic. Yeah,
None
they're
of
all-
Alex. To your point, Alex. None of that has happened, right? And there's been so many opportunities for it to happen, and it has not happened. It's just fucking so refreshing. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's interesting how a lot of the side characters are women, like especially
they're
as you
good.
get into your books. But I haven't run into any of them that I was like, all right, this is the Mary Sue character. Let's fucking get this out of the way.
Yep.
And I do think though it's interesting. I think you can almost kind of chart how the average American is feeling as these books are released, in the sense of you can tell that Dinniman is sort of a centrist lefty guy, especially in the first book. But as the series goes on, he's drifting. There's less of
A
it,
little bit.
and I do think that's genuinely a reflection of how the country is feeling at the moment. I do find that interesting, and I'm catching it more on the second go through.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Genuinely say very little to zero wokeness.
I'd say zero.
Cool.
I don't think there's any. Yeah,
There's none.
yeah, I don't think there's any. And if there is, it's because it's meaningful for the character. Like the character is supposed to be that, right?
And that's not.
It's not out of place,
that's-
which is
that's
all
not-
that we ever asked for.
And that's not
Yeah,
woke.
That's not woke.
character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like if there's a woke
That's
character, it's
normal.
because they're a woke
Yeah.
person in the world, and that's fine, right? There's
okay.
no problem with that. So yeah, it's amazing. I don't have a negative thing to say about the whole fucking thing. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part, is I don't have anything negative to say. Except
No, I don't
Seven's not
either.
out. Seven's audiobook is coming out 3 months later.
Three
than
months too late. Yeah.
that's the only negative thing I have to say.
That's
And I'm gonna have to read it and then listen to it again. That's it.
well.
It-
You can go back, Steve. You can
it's-
go back and experience the
other
full
books
cast.
for me.
Oh,
I get mad at other series for not being Carl.
yeah. No, but it
That's real.
it's a legitimate criticism though. Like it
No, but you can't compare.
stuff
hang
has
on.
gotten so bad that like it after reading this, you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to like books. Movies.
I had a lot of trouble going back to Wind and Truth, like because we were with the, like I started reading this when we had the period of those chapters that we really didn't like,
Yeah.
and it was one of those those 3 weeks. Yeah, so actually it's funny because in those 3 weeks that we weren't able to stream to go over them, that's when I
Yeah,
finished.
you were
the series.
just you were reading all of these
Because
books.
I couldn't go back, right? It's just like it was like Carl, right? And it was just like I'd go to listen to it, and it's just like I'm not mentally prepared to do this right now. I'm gonna read more Carl because it's just in my head, right? So
Well, I'm immediately starting book 2, so
You can't compare apples and oranges, though. It's not.
no,
smart.
no. I don't think it's.
not
I don't
saying-
think it's a fair comparison. It's just it's one of those like I had a choice, and I
Yeah, you
it's
always-
shocking to me that I have new Stormlight material and I wasn't jumping to it. Instead, I was jumping to the other thing.
yeah, this book doesn't make Stormlight worse or any other book
No, it's
worse, and it doesn't make this book
Oh.
better. It's just so refreshing to have something like this because I
don't-
haven't seen it in a long time.
I don't know about that, to be honest. Like this book makes pretty much everything else worse. This is so good that it makes, and that's what I mean when I say like, it's not really fair to judge, to be comparing because it's totally different. It's a completely another level, and it's not just the book; it's the performance that we listen to, and especially when we listen to a lot of books. And I know Steve, you,
Bro,
it's just Exactly. It's a completely another level. Like for example, if we had, so let's just say we employed Jeff Hayes to read the Stormlight, then perhaps we could.
I don't think it would fit
we could
very
have a
well,
comparison.
right? In Stormlight.
I don't either. That's why I say it's not smart to compare apples and oranges,
Yeah.
right? For that
Yeah.
reason. So,
I agree with that.
I do think there is something to be said about comparing writing styles, though.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
and I agree with that, Alex.
look at and Carl is brutally efficient. Like there is nothing that's wasted.
Yeah.
And it's very much, it seems like, focused on payoffs, where I think Stormlight is very much focused on journeys, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but man, I love me a good fucking payoff.
Well, I
Like,
think,
Yeah.
well, he's built the story smart that he can just, it doesn't, it's a, the setting of the story lends to that, right? It's one of those, time doesn't really matter. You can get in a bed and you're recharged in a minute and go, right? They account for that, which makes it smart, right? But it's built to, the ticking time, every minute does count in these books. And he uses it very effectively every time.
Oh, it's amazing. I actually often think about like what are the chapters that he throws out, as in like I would like to read those, the ones that he chucked away that he decided weren't good enough to make the cut, and he went and completely rewrote the whole thing because that's how he rolls, right? I want to know how I want to read those as well. That's how much I love
from,
it.
from what he said, the number one thing that happens in chapters that he throws away is Mongo dies.
Oh, never. That can't
He's
happen.
apparently thrown away
No way.
Mongo dies chapters. He says he's thrown away like 40 of them.
Right,
Good.
so he should.
Good.
No, he should.
Every
That's
one
the
of them.
the Velociraptor pet, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
With
Every
feathers,
single
bro.
Mongo dies needs to go in the dumpster. Everyone. Like
Right.
Mongo can't die. Come on.
But even if I didn't love Mongo the dinosaur for all of his fun plot shenanigans,
Hang on, is Mongo in book one?
yeah, Mongo's at the very end.
They
of
get
the
him at the
book.
very end as a reward for they beat.
Danger
Well,
Dingo.
no,
Yes.
it's with the dingoes, mate. With the dingoes.
It's not for the
Liars,
rage elemental.
No,
they beat a
it's for
boss
blowing
right
up the
afterwards.
orb, right?
Oh, no.
The Danger
the-
Dingoes.
Yeah,
It's the dingoes.
the
The
dingoes.
hamster.
That's from my country. That's how
Yeah.
it goes,
The
mate.
hamster.
The
that,
dingoes.
the AI has specific thoughts on how Carl needs to get rid of. But what was I going to say?
Yeah, how funny is it, dude? When the AI gets upset, about something, it's the funniest shit in the world. I can't.
You're talking about book 3. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Even book one, he gets pissed off with him when he doesn't do this shit properly. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The lawsuits are
the lawsuits.
so funny.
I don't think we've had any lawsuits in book one.
You,
Oh, no.
you have not.
Yeah,
You-
yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
no, no.
Their bookie, not their bookie, their agent got in trouble for warning them about the rage elemental, and so she got replaced, and that's why he goes on the Pig Boy show.
Yep.
And the Pig Boy show was so good. Like he handles that so intelligently, like calls his bluff and like, look,
They talk about the memes.
I'm
in
here
book one, I don't remember.
because I was expensive, and then because of that, people start making fan fiction
Yes,
of him and the Pig Boy banging, and it makes the corporation really upset because he's royalty, and or actually no, the corporation likes it because they don't like him.
They're making
Yeah,
money,
that's
right?
what-
They're making money. They're making so
Yeah,
much
it's
money. It's
amazing.
crazy.
What do they call
Little Pig Boy or something?
my dirty little pig boy or something like that? Like
Yeah.
it's so weird.
I do think it's fascinating though that it very much highlighted that Donut was built for Odette's show, but wasn't built for the Maestro's show.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Carl is the exact opposite. Carl would be
Yeah,
terrible on Odette, but is very much built for
Pork boy.
Pork boy. For I don't even know what they're trying to emphasize. Is that like Alec Jones combined with like I don't know, Pat McAfee.
No,
or
I would
something?
he's
Pretty much,
basically
yeah.
he's like a Paul brother, you know, like just exploiting the violence and
Oh, he's
tendencies
Andrew
of
Tate.
youth. Yeah, okay, sure. He's like sure, yeah. The big boy. Carl's naughty little pig boy. Carl's naughty little pork boy. Yeah,
It's the best. I love it. So good. So good.
it's the
I
fan fiction
find
called Pork Boy Snick,
Yep.
Yeah, just
where they just bang.
Yep.
It's funny. I find myself saying "smart
So-
motherfucker" in conversation with you guys so much. Like
Glurp,
That's
glurp.
appropriate.
that's basically
It's a-
replaced "I'm ready, let's go." Like
Drink it
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
my
yeah.
little piggies. Glurp, glurp.
He's embarrassed him out of fucking the Succession line. It's just like you're such a
that's it.
fucking joke. You can't. You're cut off. Get out of here, you piece of shit. It's like, oh my god.
So
Carl
we
is
don't
so
really
effective.
we don't really understand in book one what that means, do we?
No.
Yeah.
no,
that's
The universe opens up a lot.
yeah.
I think the Tangle 3 is it?
3 and
Wait,
4
Tangle's
really
3.
widens out. Yeah, 3 and
Tangle
4
is-
they establish sort of what the universe is, and then 5 and 6 are focused on them wrecking it.
Just destroying it. Yeah. 2. What I forget. What 2 is? What level?
2 is level 3.
They book 1 ends with them entering level 3, and
Yeah.
they're going to be able to choose their race and class.
So level 3 is the circus. Okay, got it.
How funny is it that Donuts like Carl, you're going to be a cat. Carl's like, fuck off. I'm not.
Mordecai trying to get her to choose literally anything else. I said cat. I choose cat.
Fuck.
Well, the class. No, you're in for a treat. The class choices is just like complete. It's like, what the fuck are these classes? Like what?
Yeah, it's some
What
weird
the hell
shit.
is this?
The achievements.
What would
that
you
they're-
do?
The achievements
you
are
do?
so good. The announcements are so good.
Oh yeah,
What would
the
you guys
loot boxes. The loot boxes are.
What would I choose if I was in a if I was in a
What would
dungeon?
What would you choose? Yeah, what would you guys choose if
Oh,
you
I
had
have
if you had the
to-
opportunity?
I'd
pick a-
immediately go magic user, man. Come on. Probably
Yeah.
paladin. So like I like a sword, but I want to be able to like magic.
I would say gunslinger explosives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably the easiest.
you would just-
But that's probably not what I do. I do some sort of tank class probably.
I'd
Yeah,
pick
you-
some
you
kind of
would.
night elf like that. I'd pick
Yeah, I
like
know I
some-
would. Yeah,
Some kind
dumbass.
of dark elf. I'd go some kind of dark
Surrender.
elf.
Probably something similar to what Katya ended up, but different, like more pause, like what pause was. But I don't know if you haven't seen pause yet.
Have you met? You haven't met Katy yet, Alex, have you?
No, I
Uh,
think she shows up in book 3. From what I
Yeah,
heard.
book
Or
3.
no,
Katya
she shows up. She shows
End
up
of
in book
book 2, I
2.
think.
She shows up on floor 3, is what I read. So,
Yep,
so it
floor
would be
3.
book 2.
Yeah, I think mid book 2 she shows up.
Yep.
For what's
is
her
kinda-
face? What's her
it is
for
a-
the freaking chick? The bowcaster bitch. I forget her name.
Hecla.
Hecla,
Hecla. Yeah, there you go.
God, I love
dude,
in book 3
dude,
the
What a
conclusion.
moment.
Hecla.
dude, so good.
It's it's like in the beginning of the book too. It's crazy.
Something to look forward to for Tex for sure.
It's like right in the middle of the book. That's nuts.
The
What do you
The-
think of
has
Lucia Mar? got
Lucia Mar's the dog lady, right?
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, all I've
Yeah.
seen from her is just glimpses that she has dogs and that people like her.
Have they
She's a-
started a lead? Have they started a leaderboard yet in book 1? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
I guess that's
I don't
I
think
think
so.
leaderboard starts with the classes.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. That's where I'm getting messed up.
There's just been highlights. They showed Lucia Mar and her dogs, and they showed the Africans, and there was 2 other guys, but I don't remember them as much. Imani, maybe.
Miriam Dom.
Maybe Dom Pepitente. Yeah.
Shepherd. God, I fucking love Prepotente.
Pepitente is the best. Pony. God, fucking God. They hate each other so much.
Ah! Tell me about my special name.
Prepotente, man, the fucking talking
Was
goat.
it
Gotta
5
get
or 6 that
Britney's in
Prepotente? I think it's 5 Prepotente gets serious. Like,
Yeah, well, after it's 5 because after the event, you know what I'm talking about.
yes.
Yeah, it's after that he completely changes, and it's just like, whoa, Dark Prepotente with wow, this is getting real.
I'm trying to find different characters with no context. Apparently, there's an alligator with a machine gun. So
Florence.
Florin.
Florin,
Florence, bro. That's Florence. Come on now.
When they start describing the administrators that have died in various historical previous crawls, and they start describing what the crocodilian did, it's like baller.
Florin and oh gosh, what's his name? Tiger guy.
Daniel Batista.
Daniel Bautista. Daniel Bautista's fucking awesome too.
He is awesome. That dude
Love
is
Daniel
awesome.
Bautista.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think, who are the side characters that aren't incredible?
None.
Like,
None. They're all
None.
great.
That's what I'm trying to
They're
say.
all great.
There's
That's what I was trying to say.
They're all
They're
good.
all every single
the-
side. You say name a side character. That fucking side character is awesome. like
Like,
they're all good.
the only side character that I
Oh.
would say is awesome, and he's just very, very good. Like,
Well,
It's-
there's only one character that really annoys me, and that was Quan.
I've got no drama.
I mean, you got to the end of.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
But Quan. He's not.
Even
He
the
annoyed me, and
dudes-
then yeah. So,
Even the
but
big.
he's still
even
good.
the-
Like he's good. He's annoying, but like that's his function. Right? It's like it's done well, right? But that's also what I'm talking about with not overstaying one's welcome.
Dude, the end of book 3 with Quan is
It's pretty wild.
Crazy.
wildly good.
It's wild.
Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite endings maybe ever.
Yeah, the screw. That's when the lawsuits start
Yeah.
getting real. Yeah, everybody gets the screw job. Except for Quan, the cheater. Donut fucking hates Quan so much.
Who is
well.
Donut's least favorite person in the dungeon? I'm sorry, we're into spoilers now.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Book 6.
I'm
you know.
I'm looking forward to starting book 2.
Yeah.
So
It's Ernest.
Ernest.
Yeah.
That or Ren.
Ren is pretty bad. She does not like Lucia Marr.
No, but she gets on
Yep.
board sort of when that one stuff comes up. Sister Inez, she hates the oh god, what's the cat type? The
Havana Brown.
Havana Brown. You never trust a Havana Brown.
At this point in time, listen. At this point in time, where I'm up to, I don't know what happens in the next 2 books, but like her least favorite character is 100% the bitch the marketing bitch. I won't say her name or whatever, but I don't
Lloyd.
want to. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Who?
she hates.
We
that
won't
one.
say what happens to Lloyd.
Yeah, we won't.
Wait.
That just happened, by the way. But yeah, she.
Yeah. That's I figured that was the event you were talking about. Yeah.
It was.
Oh, so good, so good. Yeah.
Shit.
Carl making a name himself. Carl Galaxy Carl. Here you go.
Bye, Zev.
were there
Fuck
any
off,
other?
Fucking hell.
You gotta finish book 2, man. Come on.
I know. I'm trying to think if there's any other plot points specifically from book 1 I wanted to bring up, but
Well,
there's
he
just a lot of fights and a lot of.
We got the
He
recap.
did reject the advances of the goblin whores. There's no.
That was you get introduced to the gonorrhea there too, sort of.
correct. Very lucky not.
He
to.
gets he convinces the goblins to make him a bike, and he betrays them all.
Oh, the chopper.
yeah, he's his chopper.
Dude.
Yeah, his chopper is fucking badass.
We didn't talk about the rolling pig orgy.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, we should talk about the halfway point. The halfway point.
Wine or whatever.
the rolling.
Right. I was thinking about floor 2, but the boss of floor 1 was the
He's just like hello.
Swine ball.
the swine ball. Yeah,
Swine ball.
that can
Is that
only
a
be
thing?
created through orgy.
Real thing, and like that's the thing. The swine ball is a real thing in the universe. It's just
Is that
a
a thing?
rolling ball of fucking pigs who are fucking each other.
It's nuts. And drinking champagne at the same time, Steve. Let's
Right.
not get that. Let's not
Yeah,
get
when they break the ball, they're all wearing tuxedos.
This guy's
It's
just
crazy.
sitting there drinking his cocktail. Like, oh shit.
That's wild.
Oopsies. It's like, how do you come up with that? It's
I don't
amazing.
know. Yeah, I don't know. It's the imagination is insane.
Well, the best
That's-
part about that one is they're like totally there's like they're trying to plan for it, and then all of a sudden it's like boss bet. It's like what? No, not ready.
Yeah.
That was that one, right?
Battle.
Oh,
God.
Well, I think that was later with the Krakaren is the one that left the boss room and attacked them when they weren't ready.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
They were ready for the swine ball. They
The swine
prepared
ball,
for
they
it.
actually they cheated a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
well,
that's not
no,
cheating. That's called
exploited.
preparation.
Exploited.
Yeah.
Cool.
They
that's
smashed it into the
preparation.
roof, right? That's what happened with the pig ball.
They
right?
built a big wall. They
Yeah.
using all of his tables.
all the tables and weights and bars. And
all the tables in his inventory.
They built a big barricade and it slammed into them, and then they just stabbed all of the pigs.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
I fucking love how bloodthirsty juice donut is. Once
Yeah.
the ball breaks, like no fucks given, just buries these people.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, well, I think
Very
it's,
good.
you know, it was smart too. You know, Donut gets magic missile. Like that was nice. It was smart what weapons they gave Donut.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what spell she gets next because she kind of now has all of the.
I don't think she needs anything else. She is just a pure fucking. She is a ball of chaos now. At the end of 6, like
Yeah,
she could create like. Sorry, spoiler. She could make a fucking army. Like she don't.
yeah.
She's an army unto herself right now with Donut. It's crazy.
Here's the AI description of the ball of swine. A level 15 burrow boss, ball of swine, also known as the pork chop express. The ball of swine is one of the rarest, most deadly battle formations of the Tuskling, encompassing at least 30 Tuskling knights and their lady loves. A ball formation requires a specific set of circumstances to create. Combine a gathering of Tuskling aristocracy, add an alcohol-fueled sexually charged orgy of warlust, and sometimes, just sometimes, the wild ancient battle magic that permeates their war-torn world casts the spell, forming the ball. The Tusklings, the ruling class, they shape into an inseparable spear that rolls onto the countryside. The ball of pork won't stop in its night of terror until it has crushed the poor, the weak, the lesser citizens under its unstoppable weight.
It's just too good, man.
It's hilarious.
It's fucking too good. Like I don't. It's like it's perfect.
Yeah,
Ball of swine. Oh,
it's so weird.
it's like where do you come up with that? Like that's my thing. It's like how did you man?
Yeah. Do you
It's so good.
think that that I think it's getting a TV show? Not
Yeah,
movie.
it definitely is. It's getting a TV show. I'm a little worried about it, but I think so. The problem is Seth MacFarlane's doing it, which
Yeah.
is fine. I think Seth MacFarlane that's part of what's maybe giving me some hope because like if he goes the Family Guy route, then it could be very good. It's the guy that they actually have. I think Seth is show. I don't know if Seth MacFarlane's show running
Let's see.
or if it's Joss. Is it Joss? The guy that did the new Ninja Turtles and something else.
I think it's
Terrible.
Universal Universal
Live
Studios
action.
bought it,
Yep.
and Seth MacFarlane's and Chris Yost is
Yost
the other
has
guy.
done some weird shit.
This is not good.
Yeah, Yost
I'm-
is the concerning one.
I'm sure Seth MacFarlane is the showrunner
Yes.
because that would just make the most sense.
that's the thing that gives me hope is because if he just follows the material, which he might do, because
Because
I
it's
like
good
like,
material.
I think of Family
What would you-
Guy, and I'm like, okay, he can do this. Now I think it's live action, which I think is a mistake, but we'll see
Yeah.
how they do. I mean, it depends. Like what is it going to be? Who's gonna?
It depends.
What network's it going to be out on? Hulu?
It'll be
I-
on Peacock.
I'm trying to
you know,
think.
Yeah, it's Peacock, so that's not good. That's not good.
I mean,
But-
if it, like you think about like how One Piece turned out,
He did
yeah,
Chris Yost did the Cowboy Bebop. That's
that was
the
it,
live
the
action.
live action one. That was the one
Hopefully
that's why it
learn-
scared me. That and he did the new Weird Ninja Turtles.
that's not a good sign.
I'm the only person on Earth that liked those Ninja Turtles movies, aren't I?
Which one?
Johnson with the new one.
The
The
new
Michael
one?
Bay
Bad
ones?
No, not the Michael Bay.
Oh, you guys are talking about the
No.
shitty one with
the
Fat Black
Mayhem
Hair.
one with the weird looking Ninja Turtles and shit. Yeah, no. I'm talking about the new.
I love
one.
the Michael Bay ones, man.
The Michael
I
Bay
Okay.
bought all
one
those-
with,
I
with
bought all
spoon,
those
with
fucking
spoon
toys.
thumbs. As
He
April
did the
O'Neil.
TV. He did the TV show spin-off of that movie. I don't see him
Oh,
attached
okay.
to
so
the
he
actual
did-
movie.
okay. So the big
He's
concern
done a
was
bunch of
the-
writing on. So he's done
The One Piece,
like a
the
bunch
One
of TV
Piece-
writing. Like
yeah,
he's
the
written
One
for Bad
Piece thing
Batch.
was the big blip
Terrible.
right there. It was the big,
He wrote 10 episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
yeah, that was the big red flag from that. So
Hopefully, learn.
but
That
if
was
Seth,
such a
He
that
did.
was such a flop, though. That was such a big.
I don't know. As long as
He
Seth,
did one episode of The Mandalorian and Thor Ragnarok and Max Steel.
So I think if
Max
Seth
Steel was
MacFarlane just grabs the reins and rolls with it, it could be very good. But that's the thing. I think this is gonna be one of those shows when it comes out. We're gonna know immediately if they're gonna diverge from the
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Immediately. It'll be immediate.
How would you diverge, though? Just out of curiosity, I'm just trying to think about it, right? Like, because there's always when you think about.
I think the real question is why would you diverge?
Well,
like
why?
it's so good.
Because this is
No, they
this
don't
is
care
set up
about
for-
why.
like they could make an absolutely crazy awesome TV show. It's set up.
Yeah, it
I
could
think
be
I think it should be animated, but you know,
Line for line, and I would have Jeff Hayes as the
Yep.
AI.
AI,
doing
100%. He's the
How
AI.
could you
Don't
not?
even-
If
Hell,
you don't
dude,
do
he
that,
should
you're
do
not.
he should do
you're not
Donut's
being
voice
serious.
too. He should be
Yeah.
Donut's
He
voice.
can voice Donut and he can do the AI,
voice
even
Donut.
even if it's live action. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, and you could get fucking
you could probably
Alpha
put him in a
Carl,
bunch
you
of
can get,
makeup and have him be a couple of the TV hosts too. You know,
Alpha Carl could be
Yeah.
the guy who voiced him.
Jeff Halberton. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You know, it's like, I mean, he absolutely he should be the AI in Donut. There is no question.
Well, you
No
couldn't
question.
not do that, could you? Like, if you're serious about making, like, you couldn't not do it. You couldn't not have.
Well, I
Jeff
mean, like
involved.
the reason, I have hope because Family Guy, you got Ted. So Ted, just picture Ted only a cat, and that's Donut.
have you guys watched
right.
the TED TV show? Is that any good?
Yeah, the Ted TV show was actually sort of funny. I actually enjoyed the Ted TV show for the most part.
I
kid's not a
loved
very
the
good
Orville.
actor.
So
The kid isn't a great actor, but it didn't like. I had quite a few laughs at the Ted TV show. So, yeah. So
I'm trying to think of a better showrunner for
for
this
this, I don't
specific
think
series.
There is one.
And
I don't think
I-
there's one. I
There's
think
a guy
Seth
that did
is right,
the-
too.
I think it's a good pick for a showrunner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this, I think it absolutely is. As long as he
It's one of
just
those. We
follow-
gotta pray we hit this at the correct point in Seth MacFarlane's relationship cycle.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You know who could
it's gonna be
Sure.
Carla because he needs to get his girlfriend a job.
do a good job of directing, and he would absolutely say no. Edgar Wright. I think
That'd be
that would,
awesome.
I think that would absolutely match the tone and style.
Fuck
See,
Edgar
that-
Wright.
His
that's
his like crazy hyper cuts and just unique
Well, I would think this would be
editing.
director slash. I don't know about writer because the writer shouldn't have a job. It's all there already. But a director slash showrunner's dream. Director could do so much unique shit with this series.
If anything, you'd have to tone down the books to
Yeah.
get it on screen, right?
Dude, if they get rid of the ball of
Yeah.
fucking swine, I object. I object. We need the juicer and the ball of swine. 100%.
Oh, we need the juice.
Yeah, the
I'm
bull's
just
fine.
saying. I'm just saying to get it past producers, like you might have to tone down the ball of swine a little bit.
Maybe. No, fuck that shit. Just
Like
put it in
they're
art.
they're in BDSM gear, man.
Who cares?
How would you do that?
When they're
How would
in
you
ball
even-
form, they're in BDSM gear, and when it separates, they're in tuxedos.
How would you even do the bull?
I don't know.
Who cares? Let's try it. Fuck it.
Ugh.
It'll be better. It'll be cheaper. Like, I mean, if they're smart, this show's going to have a budget of like $15 million total.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this isn't something you can write a $150 million check for. So
Also, the sets, like the set design, super easy. Just like
Well,
build
well, okay.
2 hallways
Super
and then a couple extra set pieces. Like you could
so like the
you
Wheel
could
of Time?
repurpose all kinds of sets.
So the
Just
first
like the
season,
Wheel of
yes.
Time show, yeah.
Hold on. For the first season, yes.
Yeah.
Even for the second season's not too. You could. It's just a circus, basically, right?
Uh-huh,
Alex?
right.
Right. So and then
Is
season
there
three
anything
is-
that you wouldn't be able to film on a volume? Like especially if it's themed like a video game, you could make it look crappy and it would
Yeah.
still work.
yeah,
You could make it look like a video game.
Getting into book 4, things would get a little complicated.
That gets,
I think,
yeah, that gets more
um,
difficult as you go on. Yeah,
But the first 3
Book one is-
seasons could be very easily done, especially season 1. You're exactly right, but
if you've made it to book 4 or book 5,
you're gonna have a
You're going to have a bigger budget.
you can have a
yeah,
massive audience.
your show is a hit anyway. You're
Right.
playing
Well,
with
no,
house
that-
money.
So you're exactly right.
Uh-huh.
They can do it very cheaply season 1, get their audience hopefully, and make
Yeah.
and boost the
What-
by and you're right. By season 4, you should have a few hundred $100 million to play with.
Right. What I
should
do
be a
not
book
want them
hit.
to do is to go the route of The Boys, where the selling point of our show is
It's
that
just
we
the
can do
fucking
gross.
gore. Yeah, listen.
We can do gross stuff, and that's the only thing
Look,
we can do.
The gore is part of
And that's
it.
what we're famous for. So each
Right.
season we're gonna one up and have some other grotesque sex thing.
Yeah,
Nah,
100%.
that's not why that failed.
They lost focus of what The Boys was why it's like, yes, the gore
Yeah.
is cool, but that's not the point. The point
But
is,
I could easily see this kind of show going down the same route.
it's so wacky. Look at all the wacky shit. It's a ball of
I
sweat
mean-
on a stick. Ugh. It's like, no, fuck
It's a
off,
group of
no.
pigs in an orgy. You know, it's.
I mean, yeah, I get
I'm
what
saying
you're
it could
but
easily go down that route.
You're totally right. You're totally 100% right. But hopefully not. Because fuck,
All right.
if we were, I
Can we
hope,
be realistic for a minute?
Yeah,
This show
No.
isn't getting fucking made.
it's not.
No, they bought the rights to it for like $8,000, and
oh, is
no,
that
they were-
really it?
it was not a lot of money. I know that.
Ugh. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
realistically, this is not a big book series. I mean, this is a self-published for the
Yeah,
first.
I've seen some like it's gaining
It's good.
Right,
a
it's
lot of
gaining
momentum.
traction, right?
Yeah,
It
I've
is-
absolutely.
seen
numbers.
people talking about this book.
There is
It-
good
it-
numbers on
It is getting big, but when it was sold like 2 years ago, I legitimately think Universal picked it up in a huge batch of like 150 shows that they paid very little money for.
Well,
Um,
that might be true, but at this point in time, like it's got pretty big numbers behind it now, like from
Yeah.
the sales.
And it got
The-
picked up by Atlas for books 4 through 6 publishing. So
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm almost. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm fine with it not getting a show.
I am as well. Like let's
Dude, the
let's
audio
keep
book
it-
is a show.
It doesn't
keep-
need one, but it could
keep it-
be fantastic.
So,
Keep it
Ronnie,
ready.
read Dungeon Crawl Carl. Ronnie, DJ.
Yes. The audio book is a show in and of itself, really.
Yeah.
Especially
I don't need a TV show. Like I'm
you don't.
good.
Yeah.
I'm totally good. Like like if they now like could it
But-
be great? Sure, it could be great, but
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
No, it-
it could be. But like, am I more afraid of them fucking it up than actually
Yeah,
just
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
what they should, which is take
For
the
sure.
book and just
course.
make it a show? Because
I'm
we
with
all
you.
know that's not what they're gonna do. Because they all have to like you know. I don't know.
You
if
might
you
get
all
lucky
read
with
the
like One Piece.
The
man.
guy doing Harry Potter for HBO hasn't even read Harry Potter.
But
He
you
says
might
he
get
doesn't
lucky like One
want
Piece.
to read
He doesn't
Harry Potter.
want to. He finds it more. I could. It's like why is J.K. Rowling being such a bitch and she won't let us play with her shit? It's like,
wasn't that the whole point? Like behind the announcement, it was like, hey, we can do a more faithful adaptation.
I thought so, right? So it's like, yes, it's on audio, 100%.
It's the best audio you'll ever read.
Don't read physical books.
Dungeon.
No, do that
Carl.
too.
Read. This book is built for audio.
It is.
Buy the books.
So good.
Buy the books because the author deserves you to buy the books because they are that good.
Well, the author deserves the money for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that's what you're worried about. It's like, oh well, it's a good, but if I get my hands on it, I'm gonna make a ball of lambs instead of pigs. It's like, no, just
get it, but it's because they're sheep. Get it?
Yeah,
get it because they follow. They'll do it.
It's like Carl is now Carla, and Donut is croissant. It's like, stop.
Although, if we get a gender-swapped Carl, like maybe she doesn't use your feet as the weapons.
Obviously, that can't.
Again, it'll be Seth MacFarlane's girlfriend at the time, and then they'll have to change her.
Okay. That is a good point. Let me Google something. Who is Seth MacFarlane dating right now? Let's see. It's July.
I object if it's a chick from the Orville. So.
Amanda Bynes. What?
No.
No. Okay, dating history. He dated her a long time ago. Okay. Not current day. Emilia Clarke. No, that was 2013.
It's Liz Gillies.
Liz Gillies.
Man,
who's Liz Gillies?
I don't want to look up his entire dating history. I want to know who he's dating right now.
You started this, mate.
Dynasty.
All right, you think she could make a good female Carl?
Nobody can make a good female Carl. Not one bitch in the world can make a good female Carl. Not fucking one.
This woman will make a good heckler.
Yeah. Why can't? How did you find this information and I don't have it?
Yeah, Heckler. She could be Heckler. She could even be Katya.
Who'd you say he's dating?
Elizabeth Gillies.
I found her right away. So, yeah, she could make a Heckler or a Katya.
Okay. Wait, is that the same girl from the Orville?
Rendell Gore?
No, you're thinking of Padalecki.
Okay.
No, she's gone. She ruined the third season of Orville, so he's done with her.
I disagree. I thought it was good.
I liked most of the third part. I didn't like her.
I really liked how her story ended. It was real good.
Well,
it was a fun little.
That's for another time.
Okay.
Dude, the great Orville debate needs to happen.
I'm not a diehard. I liked it for the most part.
Apparently, there's going to be a season 4 eventually.
That's what they said, right? Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah. That's what they said. Yeah. We'll see.
Anyway,
she won't be in it because she's dead. Oh, sorry.
That's what I liked. I liked that they killed her off. I thought it was a good way to go. It was fun.
Too. I didn't have to listen to her anymore.
Fun little arc. we get it's a trope now. You gotta kill off your lesbian characters. So
fridge your girlfriend. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, he cast his girlfriend as a lesbian on the show.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
These fucking people, man.
I think we've talked about this book to death. Was there anything else to discuss, or do I just need to start reading book 2?
Dude, start right now.
Start now.
Start yesterday.
Yeah,
I still need to finish my video.
No.
Dude, we all put our life on hold for 3 weeks to finish this series. You're not the only one.
Stop being so selfish, damn you! God damn.
If I'm being honest, there, as soon as this is over, let's see. I'd say the odds are maybe 30-70. I start editing, or just start listening. So
if you start listening, you probably won't stop. It ramps up real fast.
Book 2 is super good.
I think I'm having trouble pulling my favorite out because 6 was really good, 5 was really good.
Yeah, from you, which ones have been your favorites?
It's hard. It's so hard.
Good question.
Because
Alex, you've reread like 4 times, so which one's your favorite?
5.
five.
Cool.
I think I'm leaning towards 5 too, just because of Carl's evolution in that book.
Well,
Um,
3 is mine so far, but that's just because of something that Carl.
The Tangle?
It's not
Man,
just the Tangle.
The Tangle's interesting. The character development in the Tangle is wild.
It's not. This is not a spoiler because it's the title of the book, right? The Anarchists Cookbook,
Uh-huh.
which, as a young man, I don't know if you boys remember this. You're all about the same age as me. I remember getting on the internet when the internet was first invented, and reading something called the Anarchist Cookbook.
I remember.
And all kinds of like interesting, fucking fun things as a young man, and that I love the way that book plays out, and I love that book. Anyway, so yeah, probably book 3.
Yeah.
They're all good.
So,
yeah.
how? Okay, one more question. They've said that the floors of the dungeon are structured in 3s, like each 3 floors are related to each other.
So you get, the way it works is you get random floor, civilization floor. So it's like so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18 are like cities.
Okay.
Right. So 3 is it's a city. It's like so it's like a city hub almost. Like if you think about a video game, they've made it to a city. There's NPCs walking around doing stuff and store.
Is that with the clowns? Is that with the circus? It's 3
the clowns. Yeah, that's where we're sovereign. Sovereign. Is it sovereign?
Oh, with the super. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sovereign.
Yeah.
Read the book, Tex. Read the book.
Yeah, Sovereign comes in 3, so 3 is really good.
And then they also mentioned that
4.
that I think they said in book 1 that floor 9 will have a
Faction Wars.
Yeah,
Faction Wars.
It was Mordecai let it slip that floor 9 has a different game. Like there's a game involved or something like that.
So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18 all have like a game to it. 3 is the I don't know what we call it, but it's the first civilization floor.
Yeah, 3
6
is not
the hunting ground. 9 is faction wars.
3, there's not really much outside interference. I feel like 3 was more like a quest, like getting used to NPC's hub.
It's the first city.
Introduces to those elements. Yeah.
6 is faction wars, where they're supposed to be gathering items and stuff that they can transfer to 9, where it's like 9 is actually being played out like they're supposed to be like fighting and building bases on 9, while when they get to, you have all the 9 is it 10 9 factions out in the universe are supposed to be able to buy in to faction wars to come and try and win for bragging rights, and the crawlers are mixed in there, and they try to get them to help or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Halo Wars.
So 6 is supposed to be the gathering for faction wars, and then 9 is the faction wars.
Yeah,
6
is
crawlers are just in the middle of it.
How good is it the setup for faction wars in 6?
I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen in faction wars. I don't. I have this horrible feeling that book 7 is going to be Empire Strikes Back.
I do not disagree. I think we're going to. I
have a terrible feeling we're going to lose big in faction wars, and it's going to hurt. And it's probably going to hurt so good, but it's going to hurt. I'm so afraid of what's going to go down. I just hope the Doomsday scenario doesn't get popped out. That's all.
We're saving that for 12.
It's got to be 12, right? It's got to be. Like right out the scoot, he just drops that shit. Boom.
The other thing to be said is he started this series in 2020, 4 years ago, in October, is when the first book came out, and he's got 7 books now. That's
such good stuff.
That's almost Brandon Sanderson levels of.
It's better. It's better than
it is. Well, no,
they're a little bit shorter than his books at first, but I'd say it's about the same speed.
It's very Sanderson-esque.
These are actually entertaining. So,
stop it. Hey, you told me you liked Way of Kings, mate. You watch it.
I do.
I still have hope. I still have hope that Wind and Truth is going to end well.
I have hope.
We have
hope
had
that-
some rough chapters.
Look, I still stand by that sort of epiphany. Brian is doing the same thing with Wheel of Time. Reading and analyzing every chapter. Instead of having a whole
we are shooting ourselves in the foot by overanalyzing it.
Maybe we'll see, but I think a good 2 chapters next. If we get a good 2 chapters somewhere, it's going to change everything.
Dude, if we get one good set, honestly,
Yes.
look, it's just
Well,
it's really,
the next
for me. It's
The next 2.
the next
change
chapter
my
has
mind.
to be a flashback. It literally set up. I'm going to
think he's
talk
gonna
about
do it.
my past. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do it. I'm still sticking with my
hope.
original. I don't think it's.
Anyway,
If
tune in on Tuesdays on Prophet of the Dragons channel if you want to hear us talk about Wind and Truth. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up the stream. Anything else to say?
Keep reading. Everybody read Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's fucking awesome. You
It's
won't
very.
regret it.
I do not regret it. It's very very engaging, engrossing. Engrossing is the word. Sunday nights I've got. If you can tune into this channel to talk about TV if you want that, and Tuesday nights on Prophet of the Dragons channel, and the next one of these it's just going to be whenever I finish. So
Tomorrow. All right.
could be 2 days, could be a week, could be tomorrow.
It's not going to be a week. We're probably looking at Friday, Saturday.
I do have a lot of free time right now where I'm going to be remodeling my kitchen, so
I'm telling you,
we're probably going to be back by the end of the week. So
the minute you start,
I've been told to pass on. We need to not do these on Wednesdays because my wife would like to participate. So
Okay. Any other? Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot she's reading too. Okay,
Well,
not a Wednesday next time. Okay,
Hang on. What's today where you bastards are?
Wednesday.
it's Wednesday night.
Well,
For me, yeah, it's Thursday morning for some of these people. I still have 50 minutes of Wednesday. So
That's Thursday for me. So
West
just
Coast
tell
baby.
Just tell Lady B it's actually Thursday. She's just confused, mate. It's all
All
good.
right. It's Thursday for most of the people on the panel.
Pick it up with Zax, okay?
Okay. All right. Anything? You guys have anything to plug?
No, you got it.
Check out the White Cloaks channel too if you want Wheel of Time nerdy, absolutely nerdy stuff. And that's it.
Listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Listen to it.
Listen
I,
to it.
I have legitimately nothing bad to say about this series, and I would critique a blowjob from Ana de Armas. So,
Yeah.
when I
He would.
when I say
That's
that there's
It is one. You
That's
just
a
said
fact.
it's 1 a.m., Alan. You deserve that. I know there's no
That's a
kiddos
fact.
watching. This is not a family-friendly stream. Remember, it's your own fault.
That's a
You
fact.
asked for it.
Alex would do that.
So, the fact that I'm not saying anything bad about this series at all is, I feel like speaks volumes. So check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It
All right.
does. It does. It does. Hang on. I just want to second what he said. What Alex said. It's Alex said has nothing bad to
Better
say
than a
about this.
blowjob
Is it
from
you would
Ana de
also
Armas.
critique Ana de Armas?
Nah, I wouldn't critique
Fellatio?
it. But Alex would critique it. I know that to be true. And so, as a result, everyone should pay attention to what Alex just said because it's true. This is one of the best books that I've just picked up and started listening to. And you do need to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. It's
like
the most fun I've had in a long time.
It's fun.
It's literally another level. There's no comparison.
Laugh
I'm
out
a
loud,
massive.
yeah.
I'm a Dresden Files stan. Like I will preach about the Dresden Files my entire life, and then this shit happened, and it's like a total another level. So if you've listened to the Dresden Files and you're like, "Oh, that's the best audiobook ever," hey, that was me before I started listening to this book. So that's how good it is.
I second
Get around
that.
it.
Yeah. Me too.
I have yet to start Dresden Files. It's on my list. So
That's also really good.
Dresden Files is really good. I
Really good.
really like Dresden
I've
Files.
got a lot of books on that list. This was not on it, and you guys made me do it. So
Well, you're welcome.
I was gonna
Okay.
say,
we'll see you guys in a few days then. I guess whenever we're ready.
See you tomorrow.
Cool.
Bye. It's not gonna be tomorrow. I promise it won't be tomorrow.
I just happened to stop by for books.
Books. I like books. Okay, well, let's talk about it.
I can't talk about it with you.
Well, why not?
We already did that.
We just finished.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
Oh, how did that go?
Well, we had a really good conversation.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
You did fine, Todd.
Good.
You can go home now.
This is the end.
That's all she wrote.
I'll never forget you.
I don't even know how to read.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.